Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is June 25th, 2025, and it's just after 1:10 p.m. Mountain Time. All right, you guys, so today is my second testimony video about the LifeWave patches that I've been wearing. I know it's been a couple of months, but I decided to give it some time before I made my next video. Plus, we've been in and out of town, so I finally have the time to sit down. So I decided to go ahead and make this video. So I'm going to talk about what the patches are, how they work, and then we'll go over how long I've been wearing each patch and which ones I wear. And then I'll go into my health improvements. And I have my notes here. Some of them are new health improvements I've been seeing, and some of them are going to be updates about the health improvements I told you about in my first video. Okay, so first we'll start off with what are LifeWave patches and how do they work. LifeWave patches are non-transdermal patches, which means that they do not introduce anything into your body. They are drug and stimulant free. They are a reflective patch that uses phototherapy. Okay, so phototherapy is, when it refers to the patches, is when your infrared light that comes from your body reflects back into your body at different wavelengths, and then your infrared light travels through your body to different parts of your body to repair it or to enhance the level of something that's in your body. So for the X39 patch, when your infrared light reflects back into your body at the different wavelengths, it travels through the water in your body to your stem cells to repair them. So either A, it repairs them so that they start working properly, and of course this is if they're not working properly, or B, if they're not working at all, then the infrared light helps that stem cell to start working again, and of course make sure that it's working properly. So over time, what happens is that your stem cells stop working. And I'll give you kind of just a quick rundown. So in between the ages of 30 to 35, about, we'll say maybe 50%, give or take 10% of your stem cells stop working. By the time you're about 50 to 55, if any of them are still working, by the time you get to about 60, then about 10% of your stem cells are working, but that's if they're working properly. And if you want to know what your stem cells do, go do the research and go look. You're going to, I'm so tongue-tied because I'm excited. You're going to be amazed at what your stem cells do. And you always want to make sure that you're healthy overall. Okay, so I do want to say that with LifeWave, they don't suggest that, okay, now you can stop working out. Of course, they tell you to drink plenty of water with the patches. I do want to make sure that I mention that. Okay, so anything that you're doing, if you're taking your vitamins, if you go for walks, hikes, stuff like that, don't stop doing any of those things. You just add in wearing the patches to have an overall natural health of your body. And that's what I like about LifeWave. They focus on your natural health. What's going on with your body? What is it supposed to be doing? And how can they help for your health to improve naturally? Okay, so, oh, that's right. I went over the X39 patch. I forgot I wear two patches. Okay, I almost forgot about the Carnosine patch. So when your infrared light is reflected back into your body at different wavelengths, then your infrared light goes directly to your Carnosine to enhance the levels of your Carnosine. Okay, so now we will go into how long have I been wearing them. So let me move my paper here. And I will tell you, I am on day 134 for the X39 patch. So I would have to say I'm going into, well, actually, oh, wow. I just thought about that. That would be about maybe 4 months, right? We got 30 days in each month. We got 4 months. That's 120. Yeah, so it's been over 4 months. And then the Carnosine patch, I have been wearing it. Let me see here. I got to go over here because I don't wear that patch every day. And you change the patch. I don't want to say the same patch, but let's see here, 34 days. So just a little over a month. So for the X39 patch, I wear it for the maximum amount of hours that they suggest, which is 12. And I change the patch every day. I wear it here on my arm. This is not one of the suggested places that they tell you to wear it, but I did talk to some people that wear the patches. Some people say, yes, they do wear them on their arms. If there's any place, if you want to know if you can wear any patch that you want to try on your body and you're not sure of it because it doesn't show that in the instruction booklet, or you don't see it online because they do show you different locations of where they suggest to wear their patches, then just give them a call and tell them where you're thinking about wearing your patch, which patch it is, and ask them if that's a good location to wear it. Okay, so for me, it's just, like I said, I talked to other people. They said, yes, I wear mine on my arm as well. And it's just easy for me to reach. Okay, so that one, I wear a new patch every single day. Again, this is the X39 patch. I make sure that I drink plenty of water, and that's all I do. The Carnosine patch, the maximum amount of days that they suggest to wear it is 3 days. So I decided to wear it for those amount of days, 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I actually have a screenshot of the different locations. There's 5 of where they suggest to wear it, and they tell you to rotate the patch through those 5 different locations, however often you decide to wear it, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 days each week. And also you can wear the patch for up to 12 hours. All the patches can get wet. It's up to you. Like, let's say you go swimming, you're in the jacuzzi, if you want to change your patch or if you want to keep on the same one. If it just so happens that, let's say, I thought, oh, okay, it's time for me to put on my patch. I go from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. If I don't want to go too much past that time and I know I have to clean up the house, I'll clean off that part of my arm, put the patch on, and then I'll take a shower. And then when I get out, I just leave that patch on. Some people will tell you to change them. Some people will tell them it's left up to you of what you want to do. So I would have to say whether or not you should change it before or after showering, swimming, or anything like that. I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer to it. Okay, that's just how I choose to do it. And you can call them and ask them, what should you do? Should you change your patch, or should you leave on the same one that you started with that day? Okay, so let me make sure, let me look over here that I'm not missing anything. Oh, okay, just really quick, they are heat activated. I'm glad I looked over here. I don't know if you guys can see all of this, but this is my insulated lunchbox. I decided that I was going to, let me put this out of the way, that I was going to use that instead because I like to keep the patches inside of the packaging that they came in. So if you start off as a brand partner, like I did on the business side of it, you actually have an enrollment kit, and you will, well, went a little too fast here. I moved this away. I'll go ahead and show this to you so we can go ahead and get to my second testimony. I'm excited to tell you guys about all my health improvements I've been seeing over the past months. But with the enrollment kit, it'll come inside of this envelope they call the sleeve. And then I'm just going to show you guys really quick because I hadn't planned on actually showing you guys because I have other LifeWave videos. But this is the envelope that the patches are inside of. As you can see, the name will be on the front. And then you just tear the little piece off here. And then you saw the patch, but I think I showed it to you kind of fast. So I'm going to show this to you really quick. It's very, very small. It's only a little bit bigger than a quarter. On the back, I almost dropped it, they have which patch you're about to put on. So if you turn it over and you forget, don't worry, because it'll tell you like X39, Carnosine, Eon, depending on what patch you have. And all of them have their own little envelope that looks just like this. And I think that, I don't know about the enrollment kits, but I believe that what they've started doing is they've started just sending the patches in that little envelope that you saw. Okay, and these are heat activated. I think I mentioned that. So your body also gives off infrared heat. So if you're not going to put the patches on, you want to keep the patches away from your body and out of direct sunlight. And that's why I have it in this. I did read that the combined materials inside this block the infrared heat that comes from your body, and it acts like aluminum. So, and as you can see, I like to keep everything neatly packaged, and this can get pretty flat, and I can just take this and travel with it. Okay, so that is why I choose to keep it in there. You can use a little small can if you want to take a couple patches with you and go out of town for a couple of days, but I like to keep everything the way it is. Okay, so I'm looking down here to see, because I didn't write that down on there. I thought they need to know if they've never seen a LifeWave video to know that they need to keep it like away from the body and put it inside of something that blocks the heat. Okay, and then also about being able to wear them, you know, when they're going to get wet and stuff like that. So I thought, let me just give you guys the basics of the patches. If you want to know more, then you can go to my first testimony and then my first LifeWave video that I made, or there's tons and tons of LifeWave videos out there. There's a lot of people that I think decided, you know what, I'm going to go as natural as I can Yes, I still take vitamins. Most of the time it's 500 milligrams of vitamin C a day. Sometimes I don't take any of the vitamin C, and I don't take any of the vitamins at all. Okay, so I stopped. I used to take prenatal vitamins. I used to take, I tried vitamin E. I added that in. I think that was too many. And so I just kind of backed off of all vitamins. And then the vitamin C, I'm looking at it over there. It's the only thing that I picked back up. And I usually, unless my allergies are really, really messing up, that's the good thing, is that yes, my allergies have improved significantly. So I haven't had to take as much allergy medicine. I wouldn't say close to none at all. I do have prescription allergy medicine that if the doctor says, you know what, let's just put you back on it, we're in that allergy season. Allergy season can be almost all year round, right? Depending on what it is, spring, summer, stuff like that. That's the majority of the year. Then usually it'll be like, oh, if I went in for a cough or something, let's just be on the safe side. Part of it might be your allergies, but I haven't even had to do that. Okay, so when we started off, it was 6 months on, 6 months off for my prescription medicine, and I don't take it at all anymore. Not to say maybe later on this year or next year or the year after I might not, or that I won't get put back on it for 3 months at a time. Sometimes it's 6 months at a time, but for now, I'm not taking any allergy medicine at all, whether I bought it over the counter or whether it's my prescription allergy medicine. So I'm super happy about that. That is actually one of my health improvements that I forgot to write down. So I'm going to write here allergies, and I'm going to put a check mark since we already went over that, so that I don't mention it later in this video. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else that I can think of about the patches. So we're going to go into my health improvements. I was trying to think, is there any other basic information? I have another paper printed out. I should have put it here, and I forgot to put it here before I started recording. And my briefcase is somewhere around. I don't know where it is. I think it's somewhere over there. But that's, I think, pretty basic, because I want to make sure that this is just mainly a testimony video. But I thought there's some people that don't know what a LifeWave patch is. And they do have other products. So just go to their website, go check it out, and you can see what other, I was going to say, how do you say products? I'm at a loss for words today. What other products they have besides their patches? Okay. I don't think I need to move anything else. I don't see anything else in my notes here. Usually if I have some improvements, I'll put it, I'll highlight it in yellow. I have all my highlighters here, but I don't see anything on these pages. And it starts from like the 22nd over here. This notebook is specifically for the patches. And so I don't see anything that is new that I haven't put on this paper. Okay, so let's go down the list. Okay, so why did I start wearing them? The X39 patch. And then why did I start wearing the Carnosine patch? I'll go a little bit into that. Okay, so the X39 patch, I thought, one, stem cells are very important. And the more I researched stem cells and what they're supposed to do and how they work and how important they are, the more I was like, I have to try this. I am tired of taking medicine, tired of going to the doctor. I have a team of doctors. They're excellent. They are wonderful. But I would rather just be going in for, you know, the routine annual physical or something like that, and not, is this a cold or am I having allergy attacks, or is it a little bit of both? Is my asthma messing up? Like, what's going on? I just found out last year that I have it. And so my inhaler, that's something I forgot to mention. Let me write that down before I forget. We're going to go with the asthma. I did not write this down. That's why I'm going to make a quick note, and I'm going to put a check mark by it. I have not had to use my inhaler in months. It's been about 2 to 3 months. And keep in mind, like I said, I just found out last year that I have asthma. So if you don't know, allergies, asthma, and eczema are all related. And I already had 2 of the 3, eczema and allergies. And so I used to think, well, at least I don't have all 3. And then it was like, oh, well, you kind of do. But I'm very happy to say that my inhaler has been able to stay in its box. Okay, so the pain. I was having pain in the back of my neck and the right side of my neck. I was having muscle spasms in my arm. My hands felt like I had smashed them or I had hit them with something. They were throbbing with pain. It would get to the point to where not only my cell phone, you know, the foldable phones are heavy. Well, at least by the time you put a case on them. And so it got to the point to where it was hard to hold that. And then especially with my right hand, even a pen, something as light as a pen, a piece of paper, I would feel like I was going to lose my grip. So my grip was getting weak. And then I'm going to tell you guys, after that, it was random throughout the weeks. This lasted for about a little over a month. I wouldn't know when it was going to happen, but my whole entire body would hurt. Okay, so first we went into, x-rays, different things like that. And I found out a couple things about, the body that I didn't know, and specifically about mine. So, I wasn't going to mention this, but if you're wondering what was causing the pain, did you ever find out? No, we didn't get any, I want to say, definite answers. Most of my tests came back to where nothing was wrong. Okay, so I do know that with the spine part in my neck, that my spine goes like this, and your spine is actually supposed to, this is the top of my back, okay, and this is where my neck and my head meet. Your spine is actually supposed to curve back towards the back of your head to help with the weight of your head and to help with the center of gravity. And so my spine does this. And then they also said, of course, I've been into a couple accidents. Those were over a decade ago, though. And then last year I fell a couple of times. So they said, you've been through some trauma, stuff like that. For your age, you have been through a lot. And they were like, okay, so that would explain maybe some of it as well. But, we tested my nerves, stuff like that. Oh, your nerves are fine. We just went down a list. I don't have an MRI yet. And I don't think I'm going to end up needing one or having to get it. So we haven't done anything like that, but nothing major wrong was found. So I got to thinking, I said, I was talking to some friends the other day and I said, what if that's it? What if that's the only thing? Just some stuff that happened in the past just kind of caught up with me, right? Well, I don't want to be in all this pain. So I started researching, how do stem cells help pain in the back of your neck? Going specific into where my pain was in the side of your neck. How does it help muscle spasms, stuff like that? Then I started learning more about carnosine. Does that help with any type of pain? And I learned the carnosine in our bodies, that it helps to keep inflammation away. It helps with our eyes. It helps with kind of a funny story. So I wasn't going to tell the story, but there was a drink that a person in my house said, hey, you want to try this? And I was like, oh, yeah, let's try it. It's sugar-free. Yay. Really? Okay, we're going to try it. And it turned out it was not sugar-free. And so I had made it over like halfway through the bottle, and it was just like, oh my goodness. And the reason why I mention this is because at one point in time, blood pressure. Got to mention that really quick. I forgot about that. I don't have to do my blood pressure anymore. And I was into about 260 something days. I had to do my blood pressure in the morning and at night before I went to bed, and I was able to stop. Okay. So, A1C levels were, always okay. My blood sugar was at like a 5.7 at 6. I don't know if you know this, but don't quote me on this. Go check and see. But I was told that at 6 or higher, you're diabetic, and 5.7 was getting dangerously close. Okay. So my blood sugar levels are normal now. The doctor actually looked at my blood test results that I just had a couple months ago, and he was like, you're perfect. Okay, so I was happy about that. But I did not have high blood pressure. We did find that out. It was safe to keep monitoring it. And then it was, you can stop. There's no reason. If you do decide to do it once or twice a week. But for the most part, you don't have to do it anymore. And to go from twice a week to not having to do my blood pressure at all, I was super, super excited about that, because there's different things that you have to keep in mind when you do it. Like, number one, you don't want to do anything within an hour of doing your blood pressure, however you want to word it, that raises your blood pressure. Okay, so like eating, drinking, working out, all that types of stuff, you have to sit there for, the instructions say like 15 minutes. The doctor tell you for about 5 before you do your blood pressure. And keep in mind, if you're going to do it twice, once in the morning, oops, what if you have breakfast? Now you got to wait at least an hour, right? And then before you go to bed, you had to have not have eaten for an hour. And I realized it's not when I started, it's when I finished eating or drinking something. So there was that. And then I was going to write that down. Blood pressure. Check that off. But yes, so it was interfering. Also, I was going to bed really, really early, at about 6 or 7, because I don't sleep a lot, but my sleeping is improving as well. And I cannot believe I did not write that down. No, it's not on there. Let's check that off. Sleep. I am sleeping more when I do sleep. Okay, so overall I'm getting more sleep and I have more energy. Let's write that down. I think energy was on here, but if not, I'm going to check those off too. So my energy levels have like skyrocketed. Okay, so the difference is that now, even though I would have to say I'm not sleeping as much as I want to, still, it has improved. And when I'm awake, I'm not groggy and drowsy and just feeling like I have no energy. And so I'm really happy about that, because if I'm not going to be getting that much sleep, I need to be having energy when I'm awake. I have a lot of things I do throughout the day. And so, of course, the energy is needed. So that's one of the first things that actually happened when my stem cells started having the repair, before I ever even went into the carnosine patch, was that my energy and my sleep improved. Okay, it was one of the first two things that I noticed. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. And my hair, I'm gonna see where I have it on my list here. Oh, pain. I can go ahead and check that off. I'll just do a little checklist anyway to check it off. And let's see, what else did I mention? You know, we're going into hair, might as well go ahead and check it off, and we'll go into that. That was a little further down the list. So this is like a mixture. Like I said, I was going to try to do new health improvements first and then updates. But as you can see, I'm a little bit all over the place. So we'll just go ahead and get that out the way. So my hair has started to grow back its natural hair color in different places. And also, I do want to make sure that I mention that I do get keratin treatments probably every 2 to 3 months, maybe sometimes every 4 months. It's usually when we're going to go out of town. It's just that it helps my hair to be more manageable. It helps with split ends. If you get your hair dyed, it helps lock in your hair color, things like that. You don't have to take as long to blow dry it. And it's healthier than having like a relaxer or something like that. And so I decided to do those. I was using the E-Tape products. They're wonderful products. They're all natural E''TAE products. You can order them from online, or they sell some of their products in their store. And I learned that I had to alternate. So if I was going to have a keratin treatment done that month, I wouldn't treat my hair with the E-Tape products that month. And so I don't use the E-Tape products anymore. Like I said, I like them. It's just that I'm just having to do less and less, because my hair is now starting to be healthier with, like I said, the fact that I've been wearing these patches. I just want to make sure that you know, keep in mind, it's your infrared light that's going into your body, that's repairing parts of your body, and then your body is starting to heal. Okay, so the patches are just reflective. That's it. Okay, I'm going to show you my hair really quick, and you guys are going to see. Okay, so let me give you a quick rundown. My roots just got done within this week. It hasn't even been a complete week yet. And then my short side of my hair was dyed when I got my keratin treatment done, which was about 2 weeks ago. Okay, so part of it is going to be the fact that I still have some of the black dye there. Part of it is actually my natural hair color. So I'm going to point up in here. Once my natural hair color started to grow back right here along the edge, it stayed that way. And then along the edges, the edge actually of where it starts to where it's shaved. And then my roots I will show you, but they got bleached and dyed blue, so I can't show you that. But I'm going to show you also the length, and hopefully you guys can see it when I stand up. Because like I said, the one thing that I want to make sure that I mention, because I know that a lot of people in LifeWave will tell you this, anyone wearing the patches, is that you don't stop any of the health things that you're doing, working out, walking, drinking a lot of water, things like that. You just kind of add this in to take a more natural approach to your health. Okay, so I didn't run the flat iron over my hair too much. Part of what a keratin treatment does is it helps your hair to be shiny, and they use a little bit of the BioSilk serum and a little bit of that spray when they wash and blow dry and straighten my hair. And today I put a little bit on. You can't see underneath it. I decided to wear my hair down. I thought, oh, no. They need to see how well it's growing and everything like that. The combination of overall what I'm doing for the health of my hair. Okay, so let me show you guys really quick. And then here's the side. So like I said, some of it's a little bit of the black dye left. Some of it is my natural hair color that's left. Okay, so it's a mixture of both. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and sit back down here. I'm sorry that I actually forgot to make this video before I had the short side of my hair dyed, because I wanted you guys to see. But I do have a before. I think about 12 days in. They do suggest, take before pictures and videos and stuff like that. Then take your after. I don't know if you want to wait a month or two whenever you decide you're going to do your after video or your after pictures, and just kind of track to see your overall health, like your skin and things like that you'll start to notice. Okay, so let me go from the top of the list and go down so I can stay on track and stay in order. because if not, I'm going to be making check marks all over this list instead of just going down it, which would be easier. Okay, so one of the new health improvements that I noticed was my eyelashes. Like your eyelashes. Yes. The other day, I happened to notice we have been having some dust storms. Okay, and it's been so bad that I don't even know if I'm saying this word correctly, a haboob. I don't know. It might be called something else. You know, it's where that cloud of dust comes. It looks like huge dust clouds and it rolls. And it's all coming like together. It looks like a scene out of The Mummy, right? It's crazy. Well, over the past 2 to 3 weeks, we have had dust storms like you would not believe. It's like we only get about a couple of days before here comes the next one, and it's been so bad. I've been able to smell the dust in my house, taste it. It's been messing with my eyes. My eyes have been getting really dry. I've been using a lot of the TheraTears to try and moisturize my eyes. I've been having sharp pains in my eyes, and so to the point to where I think at one point, like I had some blood vessels bust in my eyes. And I've only had that happen one time. I think it was my right eye. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. And it didn't hurt. So when I woke up and saw it, I was like, whoa, what's going on with my eye? So it's been years since that's happened. But what I noticed was that the time it's taking for my eyes to heal is less, because it was totally unexpected for it to happen. I thought it was just going to be itchy and dry and stuff like that. You know, I'm allergic to dust, just in case you're wondering, why would I have such a strong reaction? But by the time you can kind of taste it in your house and not just smell it, and you know, you're walking around, you vacuumed, and now you can hear on your floor. We have an all tile floor, so I walk around like I'm not at the beach. Like, it's so annoying, right? We just had one yesterday, again, for about an hour and a half in the evening. And so we just been getting heated like almost back to back over the past couple weeks. So yeah, the dust has really been affecting me. But what I'm noticing is that my allergies, the reaction to it, or I should say allergy to the dust, the reaction has been a shorter period of time. And with this whole blood vessel thing, I think my right eye is finally completely okay, because it started, that blood vessel thing happened after. And then the left eye, I think there's like a little bit apart. So you guys might actually be able to see it, because you know, our cameras on our phones, the quality of them, I mean, you can see everything, right? So if you're wondering, if you do see something over here, that's what happened with my eye. It's not pink eye or nothing like that, but the amount of time it's taking for them to heal, because I read about it. If a blood vessel busts in your eyes, it could take weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks for it to heal. And it's just been faster, like I said, and it's just something I didn't expect. So I don't even know if I even have it on the list. But mentioning my eyelashes, I thought, let me just go all eye related right now. Okay, so I'm really happy about that. But yes, my eyelashes, you're like, you forgot about the eyelashes. I noticed that they were longer. So I was looking at my eyes, and I thought, okay, I don't see anything in them. You know, you go to sleep, you get that stuff in your eyes and stuff like that. And I was checking to make sure I had got all that out of my eyes. I just woke up, and I thought, are my eyelashes longer? I said, no. Let me go ask my husband and see what he says. He goes, oh, you're just now noticing, or you're finally noticing? And I was like, oh, you noticed already? Prior to me, you know, saying anything, he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you never said anything. And I know you're probably thinking, you know, well, you look at your face every day, right? Yeah, but you don't stand there and kind of really stare at it. I mean, unless you're going to put on some makeup, I mean, then you're focused. If you're putting on eyeshadow, or if you're, you know, doing your eyebrows or something like that, that's when you really start to pay attention. But for me, it's just, I wash my face in the shower, and then when I get out, then after that, I wait until it dries. I put the Vaseline on it. It has, I think, coconut oil or coconut butter in there or something like that. I don't put a lot, which I'm really happy. I'm not having to put as much. Having eczema, there's way more to it than just having dry skin, but that's a big part of it. And so I'm happy about that my face is needing less of Vaseline, and it is shinier. I know Vaseline is going to make your face shiny, but I mean, I'm noticing the natural shine, the natural moisture of my own skin, being that I'm having to put less and less. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, he noticed and he didn't say anything. So I was like, oh wow. Now I'm going to see, because I don't think they're fuller. Like, they're not thicker. They're just longer. Okay, so another thing is, like I said, since I'm going to keep with the eyes, I actually am going to go ahead and check that off. Okay, so I have a pretty strong prescription, and In my last testimony video, I told you guys about the story about out in the garage. So if you want to know about that, then just go watch my other video. But I'm farsighted, so that means it's easier for me to see things further away than it is up close. And when people are up close to me now, it's improving more. Okay, so at first, if a person was right here, then the improvement was that I could see their face and that it wouldn't go blurry very quickly, because eventually I could see just a person from here down and their face would be a blur. But that had started to improve to where when I would have my glasses off, it would be, I would say, as if I had them on. So I would be able to see them the same as if I was wearing them. Now it's getting to the point to where if the person is up close, if I have my glasses off, I can see their face better with my glasses off than I can with them on. Okay, so that was another reason why I started to wear the X39 patch and the Carnosine patch, was because I really wanted to get my eyes to be healthier. If I couldn't get to the point to where I didn't have to wear glasses anymore, I wanted my prescription to lower. Okay, my next time I'm supposed to go is in February. So unless I get another eye exam so I can compare them, then I probably won't have an update on did my prescription get better until around February of next year. Okay, but I am very, very happy, because if you're like me, you wear glasses and you get tired of wearing them sometimes. You want to be able to not have to wear them to watch TV. Driving, I will say I don't test this too far. Okay, and usually it'll be like, oh, there's something in my eye, or maybe I was going to change to my prescription sunglasses and then I decided not to, which will be a reason to take them off. But I have noticed that I've been able to drive further distances without them on. And of course, things would start to, whatever would blur or start to be hard to see, it would start to happen. So I would put them back on. So I wouldn't, test them like, ooh, how long can I go without wearing my glasses while I'm driving? That's not safe. Okay, so I would put them back on, but it's getting to the point to where I'm able to have them off longer if I need to. I only do it if it's necessary. It's not, I just do it just to test to see how long I cannot wear them. Okay, and I also, obviously, I wear them to read. And so I'm noticing that my eyes are getting better with my glasses on, which I know you're thinking you're wearing your glasses. Wouldn't that be obvious? But not really. Sometimes your eyes will get better. Sometimes they will get worse. Sometimes you'll go back and you'll have a prescription, like I said, that will be better or worse. And so if you've never worn glasses, if you're finding that you're having to wear prescription glasses, it's kind of a roller coaster ride, to be honest with you. Okay, one year you might go back and you're like, yes, they improved. And then another year you might go back and they're like, okay, well, they got a little worse. I don't know what happened. But, we're going to have to actually make your lashes stronger. So it's not like they get better and they continue to do that. Okay, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm really, really hoping if I can go down just even, I'm in the positive numbers, not the negative. If I can go down to just like, let's say a +3 in both eyes, I would be happy. That would be a really big improvement for me, because I'm up way higher than that in both eyes. But yes, let me go ahead and check that off. But overall, my eyes are continuing to get better when I don't have them on. And so that is what is making me happy, because like I said, being farsighted, then me being able to see things better up close is getting better with them off. Okay, so my feet. I don't know if I told you guys this, but, and I am assuming this is my eczema. I have not went to a doctor to find out what is going on with my feet, or I would have to say, I know from experience, my gosh, from having eczema since I was a baby. Okay, I was born with it. A dermatologist is probably what I would possibly be sent to. And so I would say about 3, maybe 4 years ago. I don't know, it might have been 5. I could be wrong, but I know it's been at least 3. I want to say that I started having eczema outbreaks again. And so on my feet, what would happen is right around the end of spring and going into all the way to the end of summer, I would have a patch on each foot that would start off about the size of maybe a dime, and it would just expand. It would get bigger and bigger and bigger until where it was like about like this. Okay, now I have slender feet, and so this is, I would have to say, almost half the width of my feet would have this outbreak, and it would just expand more and more, and it would stop at a certain point. But it would itch all day, all night. I would use cortisone. I would use Neosporin, and I have prescription cortisone. Okay, that 2.5%. Yes. Okay, so I don't just have over-the-counter cortisone. As a matter of fact, I make sure that I still have my prescription cortisone because of my eczema. And so I was putting on the Neosporin and stuff like that, and then it would start to kind of go away for maybe a day or two, and then it would come back. And if it didn't go away, it would start to get smaller and smaller. I'm thinking, oh, it's starting to go away. And then it will start to expand again. And this would happen, like I said, all the way from the middle of spring all the way until the end of summer, every single year for the past, I would say at max, well, I'm probably maybe into the 5th year. So just like clockwork, I think after my first testimony video with LifeWave, I want to say, I kid you not, within about maybe a couple of weeks, it started, which I was expecting it to. I knew it was going to happen. But let me tell you what actually happened. Instead of me, even let's say it cleared up for 2 to 3 days. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, good, it's gone. It's going to leave me alone this year. It's going to come back next year. Or, we'll have this little fight next year. Then it, like I said, it would come back, spread, and there it is. My feet's itching. I'm trying to scratch him. And like I said, I would just be kind of at war with it like all that time. This time, what happened is a week, yes. For a week, it did the same thing. It showed up, it spread, and then it just itch for a whole week. Going into the beginning of the next week, it started to shrink down. And I said, okay, by the end of the second week, I kid you not, it was gone. And I said, all right, don't get too excited. And I thought it's about time for me to do another testimony video anyway, and I'll be able to give them an update. And if I didn't mention it, this is something new, right? They haven't even heard that this happens to me every year. And so I said, all right, I'm gonna wait like another week. And then it got to be about 3 weeks. And then it got to be, oh, we're going to go out of town. Okay, we got to come home, wash our clothes. Literally in a couple weeks, we're going to go back out of town. And so that's what happened as well. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video. That's why it's been taking me so long to make another testimony video. So weeks passed and months, obviously. I think I saw that my testimony video was actually, I think it was like April 16th or something like that. And if that's not the day I made it, that's the day it uploaded to where it was viewable on YouTube. And time passed, and I think it's been about 2.5 months, because we're right at the end of June. It has not come back. No, not only has it not come back, or like I said, if it went away completely, it would only be a couple of days, no more than 3. It would show back up, and it would spread all over again, and then it would stay. It would stay like that, and I would think, please, please, please don't spread anymore. Because now the whole width of my foot, about this much of my foot, is going to be covered, and the width, not to like this and like this, right? So I used to think whenever it would happen, like, I just don't want it to get worse. But like I said, not only has it went away and stayed away, but the skin of my feet is shinier. It's smoother. And I'm going to tell you, I'm that person where I don't like to put a lot of stuff, let's say, go from head to toe, from my hair. I don't use grease in my hair anymore. If it's not maybe the BioSilk serum, which is not very often, if it's not that spray, then I don't put a lot of things in my hair. Also, I'm trying to keep the color in my hair for as long as I can. And so it's not a lot of stuff that goes into my hair at all. Like gel, I don't use gel, stuff like that. I tried this edge gel, but it really didn't work. It was for the short side. Sometimes I don't feel like getting a design, and obviously for it only being for the edges, this product, it just, I don't know, it just didn't work for me, even for the edges and stuff like that. So that's not very often that I use it anyway, and it wasn't working, so I stopped. I thought it would lay down my hair since it was so short, but no, it didn't work. And so I thought, well, you like your designs anyway, even if you just have all your natural hair color, all the black is pretty much washed out of your hair, just don't even worry about it. If it's going to kind of curl up, it's going to do it anyway, because your hair, the shorter it is, the more it does that. Okay, so the shorter my hair is, the more curly it gets. And so I said, all right, I'll just kind of leave it alone. But yeah, I'm really excited about that, because it would itch going back to my feet all day long, like every single day for months. And it's been totally opposite. I mean, I am happy because it was noticeable. And of course, in the summertime, you don't always have on tennis shoes, right? So yeah, my breathing Oh my gosh. Okay, so my breathing, in the morning, sometimes I'm stuffing this in different ways. So sometimes it's one nostril, sometimes it's both nostrils. Sometimes it's stuffy, whether it's one or both, and running. Sometimes it's stuffy, it feels like it's going to run and it doesn't. That has been happening way less. And my breathing, there will be some wheezing in my chest and stuff like that. The wheezing is gone. And so when I breathe, this is going to sound so awkward. And you know what? I did say that when I made this video that I was going to read something off of an informational sheet that I received when I got my first month supply. Okay, so this person that told me about the X39 patch sent me a month supply and sent me some paperwork on it so I could read about it. Okay, and I'm actually going to pause the video and go get it, but I'm going to tell you that when I breathe, whether it's in and out through my nose, my mouth, you know, of course it comes from our lungs, right? It's clear, and I feel peace. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know what I was doing before, but I don't think it was breathing. It's like I can just in and out through my nose, in and out through my mouth, a combination of both. Or sometimes you reverse it, right? Depending on what you're doing, if you meditate, different things like that. If you have anxiety, you know, they teach you to breathe and things like that. And so, no, I don't have it. I'm just saying I know that there's different reasons why, you know, you breathe certain ways in and out. And so it's all clear. And I'm like, overall, trying to have just a peaceful life, making sure anything that disrupts my peace, that it's not in my life anymore, that I push that away, whether it was a person, a group of people, whatever it was, just making sure that even when I leave my house, I have as peaceful a life as I possibly can. I would have to say my breathing has kind of come into it. And I thought, I don't know if you're supposed to feel that way if you're not, let's say, meditating or something like that, if it's just on a regular basis. But if that's the way other people feel when they're breathing, I feel that. Okay, and I want to touch on what I read on this paper. I do not remember, so when I go get it, okay, I'm going to have to scan over it. Maybe I'll scan over it and kind of mark it so I can read this, because it was something I read, I saw, I was like, oh, okay. And I thought, okay, so I was more so concerned, oh, where do you wear them? How long do you wear them? Oh yeah, I remember this person told me that, 12 hours, okay. Yeah, I said, you know, drink plenty of water. Okay, maybe I'll try the turmeric thing. You know, there's ways to maximize your benefits. It's at the bottom of this page, right? So I was going over the page, and I'm more so focused on this side of the page than the left side. But I thought back to the left side, and I thought, didn't it say something about that? You know, clarity, different things like that. And I thought, oh, it did. You need to read that to them. So let me go get it. I'm trying to think, where did I put it? I think I know what it is. I'll be right back. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that I actually read it. You can see it says X39. So this is a copy of that paper. Okay. And like I said, I was more so focused on this side of the paper, but this left side of this paper, when I thought about how much or how better I should say my breathing has gotten, and how I do feel more peaceful and overall, I said, you need to go and read this to them. I don't think I've read this in depth to you guys. If I read any part of this, I'm going to actually read the little paragraphs. It's not a lot, but it goes over what to expect with X39, and it goes day one and then 1 week. Okay, so I'm going to go down, and some of it I'm going to skip because it's not talking about the whole clarity thing. That I want to make sure I mention this, because I thought, I don't want to say like, oh my gosh, how did they know? Obviously, they did a lot of research, a lot of studying. Like if you research a company, you'll find out that they did a lot of years of study, research, all this stuff. I would have to say before they ever actually came out with the products and stuff like that. So I can't say I don't believe it. I'm like, I can't believe I remembered that this was on here. I hand this out to people, and I'm like, you need to tell them about this. So it says day one, a feeling of clarity and energy is experienced as ATP, I forgot what that stands for, is activated and healthy stem cells begin to regenerate and increase. And then it says science, mitochondrial activity increases. Okay, so the 1 week, it talks about a significant increase in your GHK-Cu copper peptide in your blood. And copper is really important in your body if you did not know that. Okay, it talks about your amino acid increases and stuff, but it says 6 weeks, clarity of mind with an overall sense of well-being are felt. The body goes to work where it is most needed, and restoration is underway all over the body. Science, calmer brain and moods. Let's see, 3 months. Yeah, I'll read the 3 months too. 3 months. Improved performance, strength, and stamina, along with reduced recovery time, may be noticed. Skin may be smoother and wounds heal faster. I mentioned that earlier. But they're telling you at around this amount of time, okay, wear one patch each day, okay, for up to 12 hours, you choose, that this is what you should start to notice. And let me tell you guys, they're spot on. Some of this stuff started happening sooner. Okay, so let me get down to, let's see what 6 months says. Let me see, I'm just scanning over it really quick. Yeah, I'm going to read all the 6 months. 6 months. Many benefits are seen at the 6 month mark, such as an improved stress response, balanced emotions, more clarity, deeper restful sleep, and improved hair. And on the science part, it says improved medical exam numbers. Okay, so continued use. Continued use gives greater benefits towards your optimal health. Okay, so I'm going to have to say that, like I said, we said I'm at what, how many days? 134 days with the X39 patch. I'm amazed. I am. That was not my beginning focus. It was the pain. I cannot function with all this pain. I have to do something about it. And then I said, okay, oh, my allergies are going to improve. Oh, that's great. You know, my doctor, one of them, I have many. Okay, so I won't say specifically which one was like, oh, this should help, your allergies, stuff like that. I was like, oh, I didn't know stem cells played a part in your allergies. And they're like, yeah, it does. So, that's good. We're going to see an improvement in that as well. We're happy about that and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, I'll make sure I keep an eye out for that. I mean, of course, I'm going to notice right away. I have, like I said, over-the-counter allergy medicine, and I have prescription medicine. So we'll see what happens. How much of it do I have to take and how often? But yes, this whole clarity thing here, I would have to say yes. For me personally, I don't know about anybody else. I don't know if anyone's ever mentioned that to you. I don't know if, I'm not sure. I looked online. They're coming up with some new compensation plans and stuff like that. There's different things that they're adding in to improve the overall company and experience that that we have and things like that. I think they're adding in some more products and things like that. And so I'm not sure where this paper came from. I know, well, obviously it came from the person that gave it to me, but I'm saying where it was copied from. Like maybe this is part of the information they received with their enrollment kits. I'm not sure, but I'm happy to have this page because I'm going to go back to this. I'm already past the 3 month mark, but I'm not at the 6 month mark yet with X39. So I have to say that I am sure, I'm certain that since I'm already experiencing this, like I said, the improved stress response, the balanced emotions, the more clarity, the deeper restful sleep. Like I said, I've already mentioned that improved hair. I'm already seeing all that stuff way before the 6 month mark. So I want to make sure that I read that to you guys. When they say clarity, they're not kidding. Okay, and I noticed it when I was starting to be able to breathe better. That's when I really, really started to notice that part. And I think peace is important. Okay, peace of mind, peace and quiet, it's very important to have. We always tell people, don't let anybody disturb your peace or your happiness. Okay, it's something that my husband and I tell people in our family, our friends and things like that, just to try to stay encouraging of each other. I think that it's important that we continue to encourage each other as much as we possibly can. I think that it's always needed. Okay, so, but yes, I had to make sure that I mentioned that when I talked about the breathing, that I went ahead and told you guys about that if you receive this information too as well, then I'm excited because speaking from experience, I'm experiencing that. Okay, so my teeth have been getting whiter. You're like, what? Yeah. Another thing I'm going to mention and write down and put a check mark that I did not put was that I put it, no, weight loss. Yes, and specifically, okay, so you guys know I had that treadmill walk and talk. If you didn't know, I made like over 400 some videos. I made a 2-year challenge. I did not make it to 2 years, but I did make it past a year. And so I was recording every time I walked, and I started recording on just on Saturdays, and then I stopped recording, but I kept walking, and then that treadmill has dust out there. Okay, let me tell you. Plus the dust storms and stuff like that, being that it's out in my garage, it's just a no. Okay, like I said, we just had one yesterday, right? And so I have not been walking my treadmill. My doctor told me do 5-pound weights, see how long you can hold them out like this, because I guarantee you can't do it for longer than a minute if you can get to that point, but you'll get stronger and stronger. He was saying, think about how much better your health will be if you, start working out more, because he's like, are you working out? And I was like, no. And I saw him again in 2 weeks. It's like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, right? And he was like, are you working out? And I was like, no. And he was like, Lorraine. And I was like, okay. So I did start the 5-pound weights. I haven't done them in like a month. So if he sees this, now he knows. But I tell him everything anyway. He has me keep a journal. But I'm laughing because if I didn't mention it, if he watches this video, he's going to know. But I was doing Qigong meditation, and that helps a lot. It also makes your body go through like a natural detox. And so I did not know that when I did it, right? When I started it off, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, I'm going to have to do that a little bit less. I haven't done any of my Qigong meditation. I thought, okay, I want to get better at dancing. And so it's a good workout. I get 2 for 1. I'll learn some dances, and, I'll work on my exercising that way too. It's a good, I don't know if it's cardio, whatever it's called, but at least I'm moving, right? I'm moving and I'm active, because I asked, I said, is it cleaning my house and doing the laundry and taking out the trash and all this other stuff enough? My doctor was like, no. And that was like 6 months ago. And so I thought, I said, I hate when my husband's right. And so he laughed. And so, yeah, I have not been doing a lot of that. And then the pain, because of the pain, going into a more serious note, I had to go through physical therapy. I did 6 weeks of physical, I almost said months, it's weeks, 6 weeks of physical therapy about, I want to say 2 months ago, so maybe 3. March was the last month of it. So I completed the whole 6 weeks. I have some resistance bands over there of different resistance levels and stuff like that. I have a little stool that I bought, and I bought like a little mat so that it won't roll, because it has wheels, to do the stretches that my physical therapist told me to do. And I was doing them during the physical therapy. Let me tell you guys, it has been about 2, maybe 3 months since I've even touched them. Okay, maybe they're like clean over there, but so far as using them, no. So if you're wondering, do you go jogging outside, and do you work out at your house? Are you back into your Pilates things you used to do, like with the resistance bands and stuff like that? Your yoga and things like that? No. Back in my mid-20s, I was like hardcore. I would go to the gym, I would work out, and I had to get comfortable with working out at home first, and then going to a gym and being around a lot of people and being able to stay focused. There's people talking in there, there's music playing and stuff like that. And so then I joined yoga back then. And so I was super active so far as exercising. And I try to do a balance of health, mental, emotional, and physical, right? And I hit my 40s, and it was like, me. I used to run track back in high school, cross country. And so I think part of the problem is I just don't like to work out. I'm not going to lie. And then taking out the time, because I'm like, well, I could have been, washing clothes, of course, I can kind of do that in between. But if I have to do, washing dishes, if I have to go, pick up some groceries, let's say I have some appointments, doctor's appointments, stuff like that, where am I going to fit in working out? And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, girl, my schedule is way more hectic than yours. And I go every day to the gym in the morning, and maybe even in the afternoon or evening, and so I fit it in. You can do it. You can fit it in. So if you're thinking that, yes, I'm aware that I can make the time. I just don't like to. And so I'm just being honest with you guys. I am doing the least amount of working out as possible. And so far I've lost 11 pounds. Okay. So I was just like, oh yeah, but I know strength is important as well to have. And so, and in flexibility, things like that, I was told by my high school PE teacher, one of the years, junior year, senior year, whatever year it was, you don't want to lose the fact of being flexible. So to try to stay, flexible as you can and stuff like that. So I know that all that's important. Like I said, wearing these patches, you don't just like, oh, I don't have to work out anymore. Like, oh, I can just stop. No, you add this in. But I'm still trying to balance having that in as both. And then once I did decide to go ahead and do the business side of it, there's time that has to be put into that as you're building a team. And it's between, other brand partners, which I haven't signed up any. I've only signed up like one customer. So, but you all become a team. You all stay in contact. And for me, I found personally that it's of course, I'm starting with people I know, people that I'm close to, friends and family and stuff like that. So I'm very, very new. That's why I have not made a brand partner video, because I'm so new to it. I'm learning a couple things that I asked questions. I was told, oh, no, it's not like that. And then, like I said, I don't know if something changed and maybe they're just remembering back from when they started with it, whether, I should take on the brand partner side of it, actually, not the customers, but the brand partner side of it. But now there's this new 2.0 compensation plan that I have to go read more into. I have done some research about it, but there's time that's taking up as well. Okay, so between I want to have business cards. Dot. I don't know if you've heard of Dot. DOT. It's a digital business card. They're $20 if you want just the regular plastic ones. I think it's about $50 if you want the metal one. I want to say if you want the metal one, from what I read on Amazon, you want to order it from online from their website, like dot.com or something like that. But I set that up, and so I've had to add that in, and then I thought, okay, I'm not making that amount of money. If you get to $600 or more a year, then you're supposed to report it. They provide you with the 1099 form. I'm nowhere near that of the commission side of it. And so I haven't even hit any bonuses, stuff like that. I haven't went into a paid rank, nothing like that. I want to go too far in that because this is a testimony of my health and how it's been improving. But that's got added into my schedule, is what I'm trying to say. And then I ended up maybe possibly by accident having another business. So now it's like I went from no businesses, working from home, thinking about going back into, I don't know, substitute teaching, whatever, that I'm going to end up doing. And then it was like, boom, 2 businesses, right? Away in comparison to just going out and, I don't know where I was going to think to apply. You guys know I'm a housewife right now, right? So, now I got 2 businesses. One, LifeWave's not my company. Okay. I don't work for them. I'm a distributor. Like I said, that's what a brand partner is. But it does take some time, and there's a lot of reading. There's a lot of different things you need to know. Your whole entire office is called back office, is online. And so I just sit there, I research everything, right? And of course, the health side of it, that's still my main focus. My health, other people's health. People tell me all the time, and I'm like, oh, really? Wow. And I'll talk to them, and I'm just like, wow, this is what has been happening with me. These are the patches I wear. I go through everything I went through with you guys today. This video is a little bit longer than I planned. It was only be like about 20 something minutes. I know we're almost into 45, but I have to say, like I said, obviously I'm having more energy and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to take a more natural approach to my health and stuff like that. I'm excited to start doing the residual income thing. I think that's what's called residual income, is where you kind of just, I guess, I don't know how to explain this. This is my understanding of what residual income means, is that it's income that you make on a, let's say, monthly or weekly basis. And it's not something that, like, you went to a regular job, made a regular paycheck. It's something that kind of keeps working itself and you just build on it. Okay, so you might make the same amount every month. You might, of course, if you rank up, then the more you make, the higher you go. I haven't ranked at all. I'm just a basic brand partner. That's it. But yeah, overall, I would have to say it's a little easier to do than I thought. And so I'm excited to be experiencing both sides of LifeWave. Okay, the business side of it and the health side of it, which, like I said, is still my main focus. But yeah, you guys, I don't think I'm going down the list here. I talked about my teeth. I talked about the eyes. I talked about the skin of my face. I forgot to check that off, and I just flipped my pen. At least it wasn't towards me, right? I did that. The teeth. Yeah, I did talk about the hair. I did talk about the energy level. Okay, so I did have that written down. So yeah, there's nothing else on my list. So yeah, less pain, eyelashes growing. I didn't even look into that. So I'm going to have to look and see stem cells, eyelashes, see how does that relate? Carnosine, does it play a part? Like I said, we have carnosine in our bodies. So I'm going to see if I can find out some more specifics as to possibilities of why my eyelashes are growing growing longer. And then I talked about my feet. I talked about my breathing being clearer, the clarity. When they tell you the clarity, the peace of mind and stuff like that, I personally have been experiencing that. I'm very happy about that. And then I went over my eyes, I went over the skin of my face, I went over the short side of my hair overall, how it's getting longer, it's healthier. You know, I combined it in with the fact that I get the keratin treatments. I do want to say some people get those like once every 6 months. So not as often as I do, but I like having straight hair. My hair is very thick. It's not just long. So I like for my hair to be thinner. It's just easier to manage. It doesn't take as long to straighten. And with the keratin treatment, you could probably possibly wash your hair, blow dry it. If some people don't like to pull out a heat in their hair, but if you do blow dry it, and there's a possibility that you might not even have to straighten your hair with your flat iron. Okay, so I just combined the two. What are my stem cells going to do? Does my carnosine help with my hair? And then I know keratin treatments help, right? So I'm trying to link everything together and have it all working together. And so I would have to say, like I said, the stuff I didn't have up there, right? The allergies, the asthma, the not having to use the inhaler, the blood pressure, the sleep, the weight loss and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't have that up there. So yeah, that's the overall list of what I did before the video and what I put on here while we were talking and everything like that. So you guys, I have to go. I turned my AC up to where it wouldn't come on. So it wouldn't, how do I say? I say so it wouldn't come on, but there's a main reason. It's not just the fact that I didn't want it to come on during my video. It's loud. I lost my train of thought for a second. It is loud. I mean, like, it sounds like two jets about to take off. Like, it's, you know, like when you're on that runway and you're sitting there and it goes, and it makes that noise and it starts to amp up, right? And all the systems are getting turned on, stuff like that. Yeah, it sounds like two of those doing it, and like it's just sitting right there, like in the house. It's loud, and it's like that the whole entire time it's on. So I set it up to 85. So yeah, with that and my lights on and then the skylight right here, it's getting toasty in here. I have a dark colored shirt, right? I'm not helping myself right now, but I'm hungry. My stomach's been growling. If you guys have been hearing some type of weird noise, that's been my stomach throughout the video. And so I've been trying to just keep talking so you guys didn't hear it, but I need to go eat. I am supposed to be drinking water. Okay, I had a couple sips this morning, and so I haven't been drinking as much water as I'm supposed to. I'm getting better at it. And just in case you're wondering, there is this, I'll tell you really, really quick. There was this program that my friend was trying, and it was to drink the amount of water you're supposed to drink a day. It's based off of your weight. And you can find this equation actually online. And so she told me about it. So I looked at it online, and I found out that you take your weight, you divide it in half, and that's how many ounces of water you're supposed to be drinking a day. Okay, and I wanted to mention that because if you just so happen to get this actual copy, like somebody you know that's been wearing the LifeWave patches for, let's say, 6 to 8 months now, I probably say this person that gave me this information, they're probably into month 8, maybe month 9. Okay, so maybe a friend or someone that also wears the patches gave this to them, or maybe this came as with their enrollment kit. They're like, oh, I'll make a copy of that. That's really good to know. Down here where it says maximize benefits, it says drink 4 to 5 ounces of water every 30 minutes, but it does not say to do that all day. Okay, so that's why I wanted to make sure, and I know you're thinking 4 to 5 ounces every 30 minutes, that's a lot, but that's like 8 to 10 ounces of water an hour, if you think about it. But again, just to point this out, keep in mind when you read this, if you get the same information I have, it does not say to do it all day, and the equation I found online, not from LifeWave, was your weight divided in half equals how many ounces of water you're supposed to drink a day. Okay, and I do have a water bottle. I think I showed it to you guys. It's an 18-ounce water bottle. And I think with my weight, I think I'm supposed to refill that bottle. I think it was 5 times. Okay, so that's like 90-something ounces or something like that. I can't really do the math exactly because I have to remember my weight. Since my weight went down, my ounces have lowered just a little bit. But I am making sure if I don't clean it every day and fill it up with water and just keep refilling it throughout the day, that I get some cups and, you know, drink water throughout the day. So I'm trying to drink more water, but just in case you have this paper, this exact same paper, keep in mind, it does not say to do that all day. It just gives you a general idea that you'll probably be, at least for part of the day, drinking about that much water. Okay. But like I said, I did learn from that program that my friend was, I don't even know the name of the program, but in that I looked online, it matched up with the information that they gave. And part of it is if you drink the correct amount of water a day that you're supposed to drink, it does help you lose weight. How? I don't know. I did not really go into it. I just know that, like my friend said, it's difficult to do. So now between that and I have a watch, I showed you guys, if you want to see the watch, I think in my first testimony, I showed it to you guys, and it has a drink water reminder. Okay. And as you can see, I'm not wearing it. Yeah, I don't have it on because I actually don't put it on unless I leave the house. Okay, as you can see, my rings aren't on. I don't like having a lot of stuff in my hands and my wrists and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to know about that watch, then maybe I'll go into my description box and put like what it is. And it's what it was. I'm not trying to say price. It was like 20 something bucks before taxes. It was like $39.99 with a 25% off coupon or something like that from Amazon. And it just I'm trying to say just as much stuff. I talk really fast sometimes. It does just as much stuff as the Samsung watches and the Apple watches. And so I was like, I love price effective things. If you know me, I don't even know if I said that correctly, if I described it that right way, but discounts. Yes, I like discounts. I don't like to pay full price for anything. So I'm excited that I have that because it does help. It vibrates and it'll just say drink water reminder or something like that on the screen. And so yeah, I need to get some water in me, some food in me, and to get this heat off of me. My goodness, it is getting hotter. I did not plan on having my hair down, but I thought no. I think from now on you need to do all your LifeWave videos with your hair down so they can see, because you plan on having it grow long and I don't plan on cutting it. Okay, I'm going to let it grow as long as it's going to grow. Okay, so if I remember in my videos with my testimonies, I'm going to have it down so we can keep track and keep an eye on that and not just my skin and my face and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe one day I won't have to use Vaseline, but for now, I mean, it's helping. And so, like I said, it's just a combination of all the health things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do the less is more thing. And I think for me that works because I'm really sensitive. My skin's very sensitive. I can't take a lot of vitamins. Some people say if you eat healthy enough, you don't need to take them. It's all, some of it's opinion, some of it's facts, some of it's kind of a little bit of both. But I'm finding that learning more and more about different parts of our body that I had not known about or I had not focused on before, I think that this was a good addition to my health, and I'm learning a lot. I'm researching a lot more because I'm a part of LifeWave, like I said, on the health side and the business side. So if you guys have questions, let me know. I don't know the answers to everything, okay? Keep in mind, I'm just starting out. You can live chat with them as well once you go to their page. I don't even think you have to log in, or you can call them Monday through Friday and just pick their brains. Ask all the questions that you can. That's what I do. I know that people are busy and I know that they're there to help us. And so that's what I do when I have a lot of questions. So you guys have a great day. Stay safe. Thank you for watching. And if you decide to try the patches, let me know which patch you decided to try to use. If you've been wearing them for a while, what health improvements are you seeing? And do you wear more than one patch, one different type of patch at a time? Because you can do that. It'll tell you, like this little packet I got, let me tell you, it went through these patches. It was like, I think it said back pain this and stress here and this there. And it told you like X39 and the X49 does, the combination of targets, the infrared light targets this part of your body. Like it didn't mention infrared light, but it mentioned me knowing that it uses phototherapy. Okay, this specifically is what you're targeting in your body. And then this specifically is what you're targeting here. And it went into like their ice wave patch. And so just go check out their website. Go to, go to lifewave.com and then go to store and then go to patches. Now, when it comes to if you decide you're like, you know what, I've heard enough. You've been talking to me for about an hour, girl. I haven't even watched any of your other videos. I haven't seen any other LifeWave videos. I do want to try them. You said start with the X39 patch. Yes, that is the key patch. Okay, that everyone from, I would have to say people that are brand partners, and most likely if they're a brand partner, they probably wear the patch as well. People that are just customers, they just wear the patches. I think from experience, a lot of people, including myself, will tell you to start with the X39 patch and just go from there and see where things take you. See how your body starts to heal itself, and you'll be amazed. I really am happy with the results I'm seeing so far, and I'm improving. There has only been improvement. Things are just getting better and better each month, each day. And so I'm really excited about that, to be able to share that with you guys. But you guys, it is time for me to end this video. You guys, again, stay safe. Bye.